Train the muscles, not the joints.
So welcome back to Natural Gallant Bodybuilding. And I thought I'd talk about a subject that actually plagues quite a few people because they see somebody with abs on Instagram or somewhere and they're like, oh, I gotta get abs and how I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna just work as hard as I can and just constantly be perpetually moving all the time. You know, burning calories, all. Gotta keep moving, gotta keep moving, gotta keep moving, gotta keep moving. Yeah, burning calories, that's right, burning calories. And they think that somehow by burning calories that they're automatically burning fat stores. But really what I'm going to say to you today is that when you're burning calories at too fast a rate during certain types of exercise, you're actually burning off your muscle. You're not necessarily burning off pure fat stores, okay? So that's why you see a lot of bodybuilders that are at a highly competitive level, their cardio intensity is not that much. Now I know there are certain HIIT programs of high intensity of cardio and this and that, and you have to bear in mind these are usually short durations to stimulate the metabolic rate throughout the day. So that way the higher metabolic rate throughout the day, they're burning a higher percentage of energy. Throughout the 24 hours, there's a burn of calories, but that rate is slow enough that they're actually burning fat from the fat stores, okay? So it's not basically the activity itself that's doing the majority of the calorie burning, it's more about stimulating the metabolism to get going. But what some people think they can do is run marathons, you know, do like 2, 3, 4 hours of really intense cardio a day, and then do some weight training and then wonder why they still look small fat. You have to be careful. There's this obsession out there with people trying to get ripped, but they don't have enough muscle to have that ripped look yet. You know, that's why bodybuilders get that ripped look. They have a certain amount of muscle first. So you want to build muscle first. So that way, not only have you built the metabolism, but by building the metabolism, now when you start to cut just a little bit of energy from your diet, you start to actually skim off this body fat. People ask me all the time, they say, Jason, how much cardio should I do for this? How much cardio should I do to get ripped or lean? And how much cardio did you do when you're competing? And honestly, I did minimal cardio. Some of the shows that I showed up absolutely emaciated and shredded, okay? I do like 20 minutes of really light spinning on the bike a day, maybe 30 minutes tops. I wasn't doing a lot of cardio. I was just trying to increase a little bit of the calorie burning, but I was really careful with the intensity because I knew that if I went too intense in the cardio, I was going to be burning off the muscle, and you definitely do not want to be burning off your protein, especially when you're in a deficit, because you'll just end up looking smaller and fatter, you know? You end up flattening out and then having this loose skin and having some fat stores still there, you know? So the fat stores are kind of stubborn. They don't necessarily want to be burned as energy. They're like a bank account. They're like stored for later. It's almost like an RRSP, right? That's how the fat stores work. Like a retirement savings plan for you Americans out there, whatever. I don't know what you call it down there, if you call it the same or not. But the bottom line is when you have a retirement savings plan, you know, you don't want to dip into that just to go to the store or something like that, okay? So with weight training, it's the same thing. Your body doesn't want to dip into those fat stores unless it absolutely has to. And it says, geez, you know, protein from the muscle is a lot easier to burn right now. So if I need some extra money or some extra calories, I'm just going to burn that off. So what you want to do is just slowly stimulate the system through subtly changing the diet and through stimulating through some cardio, and look long-term, not short-term. You know, everybody's looking at how they can get in shape in 3 weeks and get totally shredded. But the less muscle you have, the harder this is going to be, okay? So my training programs that I have on my website are based on you gaining some muscle, all right? So it's going to be hard for you to really benefit from those training programs if you're trying to diet and get shredded all the time and you're eating like very minimal amount of food. You want to make sure that you gain the muscle first before you start to try to cut, okay? There's a reason why you know, bodybuilders didn't go into shows before they actually looked at the gym and weight training. They didn't just go on a cut and say, okay, here I am, right? It's the muscle actually assists with the cut, you see? The muscle assists with the metabolism. So that's why it's important for you to concentrate on building muscle, you know, whether that's with different rep ranges, different ranges of motion, different training systems, whatever. But the bottom line is you want to build the muscle. You want to build that metabolism by building the muscle. And once your metabolism going, your metabolic rate's going, then it will basically know that the muscle's always fed, so it's not going to also feel the need to store body fat because it knows that you're not starving it. You know, the body's always getting what it needs, it's always getting food. But what a lot of people think they can do is go on constant diets and then somehow the body's not going to want to store body fat really quick. Well, that's what it does. It says, okay, let's shut the metabolic rate down and let's just store body fat the minute you take in some calories. And the reason why it does this is because you've basically been dieting. You've been telling the body that there is a lack of food in the environment. And when there's a lack of food in the environment, the body says, okay, well, I better store some for later because I know there's a lack of food going on. Really what I want you to take from this video is build muscle first and then work on a long-term program of cutting, not just short-term, like 3 weeks or 6 weeks. try to skim things off slowly and find that center point where you're slowly getting leaner and maintaining, rather than this rebound method where I talked to a guy just a little while ago, and he's saying that, you know, he diet really hard all week and then Sunday or whatever, he just go nuts and just eat everything in sight. You know, it's this rebound type mentality. So I think it's better for you to take the long-term plan, you know, take the turtle plan, okay? And eat and make sure your body's always fed.
Man, that's good tuna.
I'm stuffed. And work on stabilizing that blood sugar, building muscle, and then in time you will naturally start to get leaner, or you will maintain a leaner physique all the time. And then when you want to really cut, it just takes a few little adjustments to your diet, maybe a little bit of cardio, and then from there you start to skim off those last percentages of body fat, right? Now, of course, the last, you know, once you get down to 5-6%, down to 4%, yeah, it's a little aggressive at that point. But what my point is, you can't maintain that all year round anyway. You can't constantly be in 4% body fat. It's not actually normal, and it's really inconvenient for your lifestyle, and I don't think it's healthy either to maintain that body fat level percentage. So really what most people are trying to do is say, how do I walk around and be lean all the time? I mean, nobody wants to be super fat and then super lean and super fat, super lean. You want to try to say, okay, what's the best possible average me that can happen in my life, and how do I maintain that? And I think that's a better approach rather than this yo-yo system of dieting and then bulking and dieting. So the premise of what I'm saying to you is nourishment. You're constantly nourishing the muscles, therefore nourishing the metabolism, and therefore you are maintaining a leaner body fat percentage. And I think that's a better strategy and a better plan, okay? All right, so thanks a lot for watching. If you need to get a hold of me, just go to naturalgallantbodybuilding.com and take care for now. There you go, train the muscles, not the joints. Guaranteed to make your back bigger, guaranteed.